It's not just a beachfront resort, and it's not just a palace. It's a palace on top of a beachfront resort, and it's almost faultless. Join me for this full tour and review of the Al Bustan Palace, and welcome to Muscat. If you're new to the channel, let me be the first to welcome you. My name is Kevin, and I am the Flip Flop Traveler. I am here to give you honest content about flights, hotels, trains, and cruises. I paid for this stay out of pocket, and as always, the price that I paid is in the description below. Ritz-Carlton had no knowledge that I'd be filming, and I didn't receive any compensation for doing so. Everything in this video is my personal opinion, based on my own unique experience. The rest, I'll let speak for itself. Let's get started. So, do you remember how in my last Oman video, the one at the Jumeirah Muscat Bay, I was talking about how Oman is so steeped in tradition and focused on nature, and they're not really into showing off and stuff like that? Well, this one might contradict that a little bit. Operated by Ritz-Carlton since 2012, Al Bustan Palace is a type of palace that I've never reviewed before, that I never really knew existed. If you follow the channel, you know that I have reviewed palaces before, but this one's different. Why? This one was purposely built for hospitality. Imagine, if you will, it's 1985, and you, the Sultan of Oman, want to welcome leaders from across the region in the plushest possible way while hosting that year's Gulf Cooperation Council Summit. So, what do? Well, you build a palace, of course. Enter Al Bustan Palace. Located between the Gulf of Oman and the Al Hajra Mountains, Al Bustan Palace exists in a bit of its own world. The palace and its 250 guest rooms were built to impress and represent Omani culture and hospitality at the highest levels. Designed and constructed by J.A. Filippo, the original project is said to have cost over $200 million. Walking into the palace is just about as surreal as it gets. From the outside, it's an imposing but fairly reserved structure, a design of the times. I suppose I was expecting that to continue once inside. I vividly remember walking in, looking up, and just thinking, whoa. I was greeted by some very friendly front desk agents, given some otherworldly fresh orange juice, and swiftly checked in. The central atrium, also doubling as the Atrium Tea Lounge, is 38 meters high and spans the height of the structure. I mentioned that there's a palace on top of a hotel, and that does hold true. The hotel occupies everything up until the 8th floor, and floor number 9 is managed by the Sultanate. I'll let you have a bit of a look around. Here's your friendly reminder to click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with friends and family. Those are truly the easiest ways, all free for you, to help support the channel. If you'd like to support me further, my Patreon is also linked in the description below. Thanks very much in advance. Okay, let's head outside to the resort grounds. To do so, we'll head down one floor and pass through the shopping arcade. I love new hotels and resorts. Y'all know that. But there's something so satisfying about seeing a resort that has some years under its belt and has resort grounds that just feel established. Nothing feels new. It feels comfortable and settled in and high-end. There are two wings to the side of the central building. In front of each is a lagoon access pool for the lower level rooms. On one side, there's a large lounging lawn, and on the other side, there's a lawn used for events and such. Directly in front of the main part of the hotel is the swimming pool, which is a massive one at 50 meters long. I rarely think that a single rectangular pool is the most creative thing possible, but here it does really fit quite well, vaguely reminding me of the Apoorva Kempinski with its massive linear pool with a palace in the background. To better understand where we are, let's take a look at the maps. Oman occupies the southeastern corner of the Arabian Peninsula, surrounded by the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen. Muscat, a traditional collection of fishing villages, is located seaside on the rugged northeast coastline. While there are plenty of hotels and resorts in Muscat proper, the really special ones are anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes outside of the city center. Where we are today is around 40 minutes from the airport. And then we move on to the beach. So, for this one, I have good news and bad news. Let's start with the bad. The beach directly in front of the hotel is not swimmable, at least not during the time when I was there. It was very rocky, as you might expect on such a rugged coastline. But this entire beach, the entire kilometer of it, is private and only accessible to Al Bustan. And if you stroll down a bit, not only will you feel like you have your own private beach, but you'll also be able to swim. The resort also has a substantial amount of water sports available for hire. To the far side, in the same direction of the swimmable beach, there's a large kids club and water splash area. Thoughtfully, it's placed far enough away that you can't hear anything from it in the lounging area. And trust me, at times when I was there, it was very busy. A quick check of the outdoor pool restaurant, Blue, which is open for lunch. And that down there is where we'll head later for dinner. For now, let's go check out my room. The halls and the room are really the only places on the property that felt a bit dated, but I think the intention is simply to keep it true to its original nature, which just so happens to be the 80s. The rooms are a little bit on the tight side, but are very nicely appointed. I'll put up the extra bits as we take a look around. Overall, the bit scores are all very good. The only area where it's lacking is the number of outlets. 6 total outlets in a room, I think, is the lowest number that I've ever counted. That said, the bedding, linens, and such more than made up for that. The only odd bit were the exposed box springs. In 2022, the general manager had this to say about the recent renovation. Quote, "We've just come out of another renovation. And 10 years before that, we had another renovation. So every decade, we upgrade the hotel, but we don't mess with the heritage of the hotel." Unquote. I think this mentality is what accounts for the older design that seems to be in perfect condition. Can I also just say, on an unrelated note, this hotel felt like it had a very real following. There's something about hotels that host a lot of regular guests that just have a very comfortable and casual vibe to them, and that's the impression that I got when I was here. Surely the incredible staff have a lot to do with that. If you head down to the description, you'll find my next 5 videos to come out, as well as a link to my other resort videos. On your way down there, don't forget to subscribe. I release full-length videos every Thursday and Saturday. There's nothing that can really be done with this, so it's more of an observation than a criticism. But the bathrooms are really small, considering the grandeur of the hotel. That closet that was just next to the bed surely should have been part of the bathroom itself to give a bit more breathing space. I was actually originally supposed to stay at the Chetty instead of here, but changed a week out due to a series of reviews that I read by some sites that I do trust, many of them having the same opinion that it was simply underwhelming, with really dark rooms in some of the cases. So I changed to here, and I'm very glad that I did. Now onto the beautiful balcony. I booked this through Amex Fine Hotels and Resorts and reserved the base Mountain View room. Upon arrival, I'd been upgraded to an Ocean View King room. I can't really stress enough how good the condition is. Just look at these exterior finishes. The stonework is absolutely immaculate. For dinner, one of the options on offer was China Mood. I can assure you, as much as I love dim sum, I'm not going to be coming to Oman to have dim sum. I headed to the Pavilion, which is a 3-in-1 venue. On the front lawn, there's a shisha bar. Inside and out, there's a regular bar, and inside and on the terrace is the restaurant itself. My table was about as seaside can be, and I was in store for a true treat of a meal. I started out with the local tuna tartare, which was bright, fresh, tart, and just a great opening for the meal. After that, I went for one of the better main dishes that I've had in quite some time. I had the soy glazed short rib with apple, jalapeno, and celery puree. On the side, perhaps even better than the main, were perfectly cooked fondant potatoes swimming in aioli. This meal was far beyond my expectations, and the service matched as well. After dark, the palace had a bit of an otherworldly feel to it. All of these date palms having been brought in from Salalah, where my next resort video will be from. The energy that this place had early in the morning was second to none. Not a guest in sight, but everything was already set up before the sun even peeked over the hills. Time for breakfast. Breakfast is at Al Kiran Kitchen, which is their all-day venue, serving up a stunning buffet for breakfast. I think this might be one of the most impressive bakery and patisserie spreads that I've seen on a buffet since maybe the Excelsior Hotel in Milan. And the variety of unique local flavors on offer was impressive. There's really no other word for it. The resort also has a huge on-site but separate spa and fitness center, which you can check out online. Keep in mind, in this part of the world, I don't attempt to film spaces which may be considered private. So, the three big points that I wrote down were faultless, incredible outdoor vibe, and history. And in recounting my time there some months later now, I'm sticking to those. When I checked out, the front desk agent asked me how my stay was. I said wonderful. She dug in a bit, which I appreciate, and asked if there was one thing I had to change, what would it be? I told her, even if it didn't make sense for the brand, it really should be a Ritz-Carlton Reserve. The facility, service, and grounds are just worthy of an upgrade in title. So it looks like Muscat was a double redemption. Jumeirah and Ritz-Carlton, two brands that both let me down in Southeast Asia, have both totally wowed me in Oman. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please be sure to click that like button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on my twice weekly uploads. I'll see you next time on a Thai Airways 777 in economy. Oh, and as always, thanks for watching until the end.